The second stanza sees the mirror undergo a remarkable change. The mirror describes itself as a lake, which reflects the image of a woman bending over it. From a material object, the mirror transforms into an element of nature. It is apparent that the poet tries to highlight the symbolic quality of the mirror. We don't know whether the woman is the poet herself or some other person. The lake merely shows what it can see. In this case, it is the face of the woman peering into the depths of the lake. Maybe she's searching for her long-lost youth in the mirror. The devastating effects of age stare back at her like a monstrous fish, and she's repelled by it. The woman finds it difficult to deal with the effects of aging. Sometimes we expect the mirror to be kinder to us, showing us our heart's truest desires. You must remember the mirror of Erised in Harry Potter, which used to show everyone what they were truly looking for. But this isn't the case with the mirror of our poem. The woman sometimes turns to candles and the moon, whose light flutter her appearance. But though she turns to these liars to occasionally delude herself, she returns to the mirror for the truth. She needs the mirror to provide her with an unbiased, unadulterated view of herself. The mirror's perspective might be harsh and discomforting, often leaving her crying. The mirror also knows how important it is to the woman, as she comes and looks at the mirror every day. One also gets the idea that the woman isn't as vexed with her physical appearance. Maybe she looks into the mirror and for a moment she can look into the eyes of her younger self. She thinks and reminisces about that young, carefree, innocent girl she once was. Yet, she realizes that she is no longer that girl, and the revelation shakes her. She looks at her old face deformed by the passage of time. She feels as if she drowns that young girl every day in the depths of the lake. Think of other characters in literature who have tried to hide their age and experience, only to be hounded by their own demons. One such character would be Dorian Gray from Oscar Wilde's famous horror novel, The Portrait of Dorian Gray. The portrait in the book serves the same function as a mirror and represents the character's gradual change for the worse. The mirror, thus, portrays the horror of facing one's inner demon every day and describes it as a terrible fish rising from the depths of the lake. That is how the poem ends, with the image of the fish, introducing the element of psychological horror. Our consciousness often acts as a mirror, making us face our own demons. The poem also uses the technique of personification because the mirror talks in first person. It might also represent the artist or writer who unflinchingly paints a true picture of his or her age. Before we part, it must be remembered that Sylvia Plath wrote this poem 2 years before her suicide. Hence, it is very likely that there are many personal elements of a difficult life in the poem. However, Mirror isn't merely a confession, but a great work of literature which is appreciated to this day. This brings us to the end of our poem. Please feel free to go through our recap video to revise the main points of the poem before your exams. Till next time, goodbye.